episode 11 of Translated's adventure around the world in the Ocean Globe race. My name is Paul Cayard. Today I'm in San Francisco on board Translated 9, the white one. And my cameraman is none other than Marco Trombetti, our fearless leader. So the team is doing great. They've been at it now for a couple weeks in the Southern Ocean. It's actually been more mild than I thought. They're making good progress. Pendwick is stretching out a little bit, as it should. It's a 73-foot boat, but Translated 9 is fighting hard and right at the front of the pack. So in this week's episode, we'll look at the tracker first, and then the router so we can see the weather for the upcoming week, and follow our team. Looking at the tracker back to November 9th, we see that the group was pretty bunched up at that time. And what I want you to focus on as I go forward here through the next couple of days, this is the 10th, is how the boats in the south always did best. So here Translated was in the south and Maiden was just to the north, and this is Pendwick north and east a little bit. And going on through here, the 11th, you see Translated crosses to the north while Maiden gets south. And that pans out good for Maiden. Maiden gets ahead of Translated here. The red boat is Spirit of Helsinki. And now you see Translated is actually the fourth boat because they're the most north boat. And then they all swap sides again, and Translated becomes the southernmost boat of the three. Pendwick is getting a little further ahead, as she should. She's a bigger boat. But obviously what's bearing itself out here is that there's more wind in the south. And Translated retook second place. And now we bring the wind on and we can see exactly what they're dealing with there. And that vein of wind in this area here is what's making the southern boats do the best. So that's how they got to where they are today. It's Friday, November 17th. My starting point on this router is Translated 9's position today at 6:30 GMT, and my finished position is an arbitrary point I picked out here a couple thousand miles to the east. And I put it out here because it's east of this next ice waypoint. And I kind of want to show you, you can see how the router comes up north to get over this ice waypoint. And in the absence of the ice waypoint, the fleet would probably sail down here closer to the Great Circle route, which is depicted by the yellow line. So let's just see how that plays out. Another interesting thing is these areas here are high wind warning areas, these boxes. So there's big waves and big winds in these boxes. So if we move forward to Saturday the 18th, we see the boat sailing along in 25 knots of northwesterly. And these boats tend to go pretty straight between 2 points because they don't gain a lot of speed sailing on what we call hot angles. So they tend to sail the shortest distance between 2 points. Here they're falling off the backside of this wind on Sunday and getting some 15-knot winds, which they'll be happy for. And we see this cycle repeat itself. And then on Monday, here comes big breeze again on the next low pressure system. Big breeze from the northwest, 35 knots of wind. And on Tuesday, that rolls right on past them. These fronts and these low pressure systems roll along at about 25 knots while our boats are doing 10 knots. So they just roll right on by, and here they're setting up for another day or so of lighter winds, 15-knot winds, just like we had 2 days ago. So that pattern just keeps repeating itself. Here comes the next low pressure on Wednesday the 22nd. They're going to get some strong northwesterlies again. Here it is. And they're having to come up around this ice waypoint. So you get the picture. It's just cyclical. Every 2 days or so they get run over by a low pressure system and they get the strong northwesterlies. and they fall off the backside into some 15-knot westerlies, recover a bit, warm up a bit, and then they get ready to get hammered again by the next low pressure system. So that's a wrap on episode 11. As you can see, the fleet's enjoying a little narrow band of wind, nice westerlies, making good miles. Next week they're going to get hit with some stronger winds from the northwest, so not too cold. But it's still a long way to Auckland, New Zealand, and I know they all believe in humans. For me, I'm going down below where it's nice and warm. Marco, it's great to have you here in San Francisco, my hometown, at my yacht club where I learned how to sail, St. Francis Yacht Club, and it's not the first time we've sailed a lot out under the Golden Gate Bridge together. But I'm really curious now that it's been 3 weeks since leg one finished. That night at 3 a.m. when I met you out on the water, it was blowing 40 knots, and yeah, I'm curious as to how you've digested your own personal experience of 7,000 miles at sea, and also how you see the project unfolding, and now that we're well into it.
Yeah, first, Paul, it's a big pleasure to be here in San Francisco that I consider my second home. Okay, and all the activities that we have done together here with all the partners, the friends that we have, is something so nice, and I'm so happy to be again here, doing our experience together. The second thing is that it feels very, very good to go back home and meeting the family, the kids especially, all the friends. Is things that you miss a lot when you are alone at sea for 40 days. You start thinking about all your friends, the people that you want to meet again. And the last thing is that when I was on the boat, I was saying, I'll never do this again. I'll never do this again. And I have to do leg 3, right? So I was trying to invent any kind of excuse not to do it. And then I go back on the land 2 days, and there is one thing that I want to do, leg 3.
Get back on the boat.
Yes.
Good job.